What Delta Zeta means to me is sisterhood. It's friendship, it's laughter, it's sisterhood, and I've already said that, so clearly it's really important to me.
My favorite Delta Zeta memory would be how we got ready for the Toga TG. A big group of us went over to Megan Barry's dorm room, and it was absolutely insane because we were all so confused and had no idea how to put on these togas. And it was pretty much a miracle how these stayed together, but it was just so much fun dancing around in these scary togas since we never thought they would ever be put together correctly.
My favorite Delta Zeta memory is definitely the football blocks. I love football, and I love getting ready with my sisters on Saturdays, going to the game, and sitting together to cheer on our Buckeyes. My favorite game was definitely the Michigan game. My whole family was in, and I loved being able to kick Michigan's butt and do it with all my sisters and all my family.
I've had some really amazing memories here in Delta Zeta, and one of my favorite ones was actually last winter when we got a rare collegiate snow day, and so we all went sledding down our front hill, and then we went down to one of the fraternities and had a snowball fight with them, and it was so much fun, and then we had like hot chocolate and everything. And it was just like one of those fun days where you could have gotten something accomplished, but you decided to just waste time anyway. It was time well wasted, definitely.
My favorite Delta Zeta memory was Big Little Night. All week we'd been receiving clues about who our big sisters were, and at the end we had a big reveal where we found out who they were. I was so excited to find out who my big was.
So my favorite Delta Zeta memory is of this summer when Liz Cassidy came to visit me in Europe. I spent the summer in London doing an internship, and she came to visit me at the end of it, and we stayed for 2 weeks and traveled around Europe together. We saw something like 7 countries in like 12 days. But it was a lot of fun, and I have a lot of great pictures of us wearing our letters all over Europe.
Being in Delta Zeta has taught me successful values, leadership, scholarship, philanthropy, service.
Delta Zeta is holding yourself to a higher standard to better the woman you are.
It's amazing because when I lived in the house last year, women would come by all the time and they would say, oh, I graduated in 1968 or 1982, and they would come back to see the house and they would share all their memories they had in the house, and they still kept in touch with all of their sisters from their pledge class and everything.
So one of my favorite Delta Zeta things that we do every week is on Monday night we have chapter dinners, and it's just the one time a week where everyone's invited over to the house for dinner. And we're all dressed up for chapter, so it's just a nice night, and it's a nice way to start the week. And one week, a few weeks ago, Shannon and I were sitting at the same table, and we were just talking, and somehow found out that we grew up down the street.
As a new member, I didn't know what Delta Zeta would mean to me by the time I was down here at Ohio State. But it is clear to me now that I've developed those skills that are necessary to carry on after college. And I don't know without Delta Zeta if that would have been possible.
After meeting all the amazing people in the chapter, I knew that this was the right fit for me.
It was just so wonderful, and I don't think I could ever have had a better time.
So to me, Delta Zeta is a home away from home. I went to a large high school, and I had my close group of soccer friends. We always did everything together. But when I came to Ohio State, I was really worried because it's so large about kind of finding a spot where I fit in. And I found that in Delta Zeta.
It's like we've always been sisters. Always.
But Delta Zeta gave me the confidence.
Delta Zeta, to me, means opportunity.
One of the most important things to me in Delta Zeta is friendship.
And I couldn't imagine my life without Delta Zeta.
And the opportunity to make these years the best years of your life.
Makes me happy to know that we will stay in touch and that it's not just 4 years, it's for life.
To the world.
To the world.
To the world.
To the world.
I promise. I promise.
I promise.
Temperance. Temperance. And insight.
An insight.
Encourage.
Encourage.
To crusade for justice.
To crusade for justice.
To seek the truth.
To seek the truth.
And defend it always.
Defend it always.
And defend it always.
To those in my life may touch in slight measure.
To those in my life may touch in slight measure.
May I give graciously?
May I give graciously of what is mine.
To my friends.
To my friends.
Understanding and appreciation.
Understanding and appreciation.
To those closer ones.
To those closer ones.
Love that is ever steadfast.
Love that is ever steadfast.
To my mind, growth.
To my mind, growth.
To my mind, growth.
To myself, faith.
To myself, faith.
That I may walk truly.
Truly.
That I may walk truly in the light of the flame.